Dr. Aman is an internationally qualified, experienced, um, and recognized psychosocial analyst. He's a consulting psychosocial analyst. That is his primary occupation, but he wears number of different hats. So he's also a TA trainer, TA transactional analysis trainer. He is internationally qualified in it and internationally recognized as a TA trainer, and that is how I know him also. So I have studied under him, under his TA course, and I can vouch for the interactive activities and the explanations he does. So I just loved his sessions. Other than the TA trainer, he's also a youth mentor. So he loves to speak to audiences like yours, and he's very popular at that. Uh, he's also a relationship counselor, and he's also a communication coach. So it's really great to have you here, Dr. Aman. And before I shoot my questions, would you like to say something?
No, it's my absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm just trying to change the view of the screen so I can,
Okay.
yes, so I can see more people. All right, there you guys are. There you guys are. So, oh, excellent. Now I can see more people. Okay, excellent. Wow, that's a lot of you. So, yeah, I'm here to answer questions. I may even ask you a few questions. ऐसा googly woogly मत फेंकना मेरे पे. Or I hope everyone is conversant with Hindi, because sometimes people say you speak too much English. So I try to throw in some Hindi as well because I love the language. So I hope everyone is comfortable with both languages out here. So yeah, have some fun. Let's try to keep it very light and don't hesitate. Okay, and there's no such thing as a dumb question or a bad question in my books. Okay, a question is a question. If I don't have an answer, I'll say I have no clue, and we'll find out. We'll go and Google together. If I know, yes, I will elaborate, and yes, you're welcome to disagree with me as well. All right. So yeah, let's jump right in. Tasneem, what do you have? What do you have in store for us today?
Okay, okay, sure. So the first question, of course, about the pandemic, the online learning that we all are using. So my first question is like, though online education, online learning has a lot of benefits, uh, there are certain concepts, certain things that we cannot understand without the face-to-face communication with the teacher. And in today's time, my students are subjected to a lot of time like that. They're learning most of their concepts like that. So I just want you to tell us, like, how do we cope up, or how do my students? Of course, I have a question as a teacher also, but here I'm representing my students. So I'm asking you as a student, how do I cope up with something like this, like online learning?
Well, there's always the challenge of multiple things happening at the same time. So when you have your screen, you have your WhatsApp web on one corner, you have your chat app on one corner, then you may want to be checking other things, YouTube notifications, all kinds of stuff. So, as we used to say back in the day, you got to declutter your workspace and you got to declutter your mind. So a clean workspace. So currently your workspace is your computer. Just declutter it. Just shut all the unnecessary apps, because the main challenge is how do we dodge these distractions, because these distractions have been created by very smart people smarter than you and me, who don't want you to log off, who don't want you to stop using the app. So they've been designed in a way that always sucks you in. Oh, what's the news on Twitter? What's the latest stuff happening on WhatsApp? What did my cousin's WhatsApp group post? So the only way to deal with it is you have to sort of do a little bit of cleaning up. And that's really as basic as it gets. Because yes, of course, I agree with you. A face-to-face classroom is a lot more fun. Someone can just minimize you, put you on mute, and make that window in one corner. So I don't know if you're seeing me full screen or I'm like this small. Okay, then you can't see my nice mustache if I'm that small. Okay, so there's no control over the interactivity of a person's, of a person's screen behavior as a teacher. And as a student, there are many distractions, there are many noises and sounds as well, um, you know technologically speaking, that are constantly whispering in your ears. Oh, did you know what happened? Oh, this is so interesting. It's more interesting than what this idiot on screen is talking about. So the challenge is to, as I said, declutter, to clean up the way you organize your learning hours, It's really as basic as that. I don't think it's rocket science. It's a question of discipline. It's a question of, oh, also another thing. It's also the teacher's onus to make sure that they're teaching the subject in a manner that's interesting, because a lot of teachers when I was growing up were not interested in teaching students. They were interested in just going to the classroom, doing what's the minimum required work to qualify as a teacher, get a salary, probably not a very good salary. So they don't enjoy the act of teaching, and you can see that they'll come in the class. Hello, students. Everybody open chapter number 5. ये भी नहीं कि मतलब पूछो how you guys doing. All right, who's in a mood to learn something about the Roman emperors? नहीं, just open to the page. All right, you start reading. So, and students can pick up. Like, you are not interested in your subject, and you are the one who teaches it. So obviously you know more. How the hell are we going to be invested in the subject? Isn't it? It does take a psychology student to understand when a person is bored of their own subject. So the teachers also have to, you have to basically become Mickey Mouse on the screen. Really project your subject, because otherwise you're going to lose the audience. They're going to sleep. They're going to mute you, and their WhatsApp groups are going to take over here. And I don't blame them too. I would get bored as well. I've attended several webinars as a student and as a facilitator and teacher. And sometimes people will put up these really ugly looking slides, like a purple font with a red background, and I'm like, okay, why have I paid money for this? Oh no. I get bored very easily as well, all right? So I totally get it. So if my audience is lost, that's on me as a teacher. That's my fault, that I'm not interesting enough, or I don't know how to string together various ideas. But yes, as a student also, it is your responsibility to extract from your facilitators and lecturers and trainers whatever it is that you can extract, because they are there for a limited amount of time. But what they teach you is going to stay around in your head for a very long time, perhaps for the rest of your life. So that stuff is more valuable than the person delivering it. हम तो एक जरिया है, boss. I'm just a vessel. Very philosophical way of looking at it. But the knowledge is more crucial. I don't have any arrogance about the fact that I'm the only one who knows these things. I'm sure Google knows much more than me, and it's on all your bloody phones. Your Sasta phone or your iPhone, all these phones have Google. So I have no arrogance about it. Yeah, but I will deliver it in a manner that makes it palatable, that simplifies it. At least I'll try my best, in all fairness. So that's what I think about it. थोड़ा लंबा आंसर दिया मैंने. तस्नीम भी शांत हो गई. तस्नीम, don't be so quiet यार. मैं तो बोलता रहूँगा, मेरा काम है.
So it was what
One
you said
second,
is I gathered two major things about it. That one is declutter.
Let me drink water
Sort of
from my
clutter.
dumbbell. This is the dumbbell I drink water from. 2 liters a day. All right. Go on. Sorry.
Okay, so one is declutter, and another is the onus also lies on the teachers. Yes, I do understand that.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Raman, do you mind if we take questions right after each question?
Yeah,
if anybody
sure.
has any questions?
Bring it on. This
Yeah?
is Q&A यार. कुछ भी पूछो. ऐसा पर्सनल
Okay,
सवाल मत
so-
पूछो, आपकी शादी हुई क्या and all. नहीं हुई. But sometimes they ask, at these webinars, it's very weird for me also. I'm like, क्या बात है? मतलब, ask questions germane to the topic, okay? कहाँ से बाल कटाते हो? I'm cutting my own hair, okay? Since the pandemic. So if you don't like it, that's your problem. Go ahead.
Okay, so girls, anybody wants to ask anything? So it's better we take questions after every question. So whatever
Up to
comes
you.
to your mind, you
Whatever's
can just
comfortable.
ask. Yeah.
And don't hesitate.
Okay.
All right. As you can tell,
Anybody?
let's keep this light and fun. All right.
Yes. Anyone?
You can type it on chat as well if you don't want to directly come on
Yeah.
screen. कुछ लोग
Yeah.
होते हैं, oh, I
Yeah.
want to go off screen. ऐसे देखेंगे पूरे webinar को. I can only see the ear. All right, don't worry about it. I've faced all kinds. I've trained more than 400 people since this lockdown has started. Okay, I think I can
Yeah.
I can
But
deal
it's
with
also
it.
beneficial, right? Like so many people get to access the training. through
Yeah,
online
sure, man.
platforms.
Yeah, I mean, no longer restricted to classroom size or number of chairs or.
Yeah.
That's also one of the advantages. It's always, there are always two
Yeah.
sides of looking at things. Either you say, oh,
Yeah.
I'm so shitty, I can't meet my friends and I can't go to college and hang out and have 15 rupaye ka sandwich outside college, or you say, I'm in my home in my bloody shorts and I'm learning so much, and all these experts are also in their homes in their shorts, and they're able to give me so much, disburse so much information to me, really. And I know a lot of y'all are very young, but in my time, we didn't have the internet, okay? I know I'm not a dinosaur, but I'm 34, so We got the internet when I was 12 years old, so I lived first 12 years without any internet. तो पुराने ज़माने में हम लोग ऐसे लाइब्रेरी जाते थे, फिर लाइब्रेरी में बुक इशू करो, वो लाइब्रेरियन के नखरे सुनो, they're, and all librarians somehow very very cantankerous folk, they just don't cooperate. They'll say, oh, then you took this book the last time and you didn't return it, and there was a bend in the page. So a lot of free stuff is coming your way, so access it, enjoy it, and make the most of it. All right. So yeah, go ahead, ask questions. Tasneem, go ahead.
My next question is again about online learning. Like we are in a situation, so I'm going to ask you a lot of things about this online.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the first thing was learning. One part is studying part, like how it is getting affected. But in management courses and lot of courses, like in fact in all courses, one of the important things about college life is campus life, and how do we make friends with others, and hanging out with friends. So that's part and parcel, and it's an important aspect of my learning. So we are not getting that at all, and especially junior students who just joined, and then they are actually doing online learning only. For the at least for the senior students, I understand they've had the first year actually in a brick and mortar classrooms and the campus, but the junior students, they just have been exposed to this only. So without this friendship, I mean, virtual friendship can do only so much, right?
True.
So how do they cope up with that?
Well, let's just look at it this way. This is not something that's exclusive to students in their first year. Those of us also who have finished our education a long time ago, we also miss meeting friends. We miss calling our family over for chai, meeting our, close friends, going out. It's a mask pen ke jana padta hai. It's a pain in the ass. Okay, we're all in this together. So the fact is that yes, it is something you are missing out on without a doubt, because I was a Xavierite, and I know we used to go to college and spend hours outside college eating street food. Sometimes in college, we'd spend more time in the canteen than in the actual classroom. I get it. I totally get it. And some of my contemporaries who are my age, Dinah Penty, the actress, she was my senior by a year. Ali Fazal, who's, Guddu Bhaiya from Mirzapur. So all these guys, we used to hang out in the canteen at Xavier's, and I've seen all of them. So I do understand that there's a certain energy, a certain good fun to be had. But see, here's the thing. No one had predicted this virus. So also the preparation to deal with it is something that we're all winging. We're all trying various things, and sometimes, it does get a bit disappointing. But it's very important to, having said that, it's very important to be very, very connected with your classmates and with your friends. Now, having said that, not all classmates can be your best friends. But even if you find 2 or 3 like-minded people, even if you find one like-minded person, make sure you connect with them. You can have video calls. You guys can, have Netflix viewing parties. There's an app also for that. Y'all can watch content together. Y'all can discuss stuff. Y'all can even, if you have an exam coming up, you can actually go through the lessons together. One person could read out, and the other person could do doubt verification. So the human interface may have changed, but the nature of human interaction hasn't changed. And to be honest, to be fair, there are a lot of cafes and restaurants now that are slowly opening up. So, if one of y'all has a bike, or, one of y'all, I don't know if y'all are old enough to drive your own cars, but, if there is a way you can go there and, just hang out outside, just take your 2 coffees, or, just take something and just stand far away from each other, aisa mask niche karke, you can still have a variation of that experience. But of course, you need to take safety precautions. Of course, you're missing out on a very vital campus life, but there is no catchment period for enjoyment. I mean, you can enjoy yourselves with friends even when you're 48 years old. Okay, you can enjoy yourselves with friends even when you're 14 years old. It's really about your attitude and what you like. So I, sometimes will meet like one friend of mine, and we go to Bhiwandi to this dhaba sometimes, just 2 of us. And a lot of them people there sometimes don't wear masks, and both of us are very paranoid. So we'll go like Ninja Turtles, aisa chal ke we'll take the cornermost table that is furthest away from civilization. Okay, we'll tell the waiter ki is line ke beyond mat aana order lene, and then I carry some spare masks with me in case one of the guys is coming. I said, mere taraf se free mask tumhare liye. Okay, but I don't want to talk to you unless you're wearing a bloody mask. And I take a big tambura. You can gauge if this is the size of my water bottle, bigger than my face, how much sanitizer I must be carrying. So having said that, it's not the बेस्ट ऑप्शन बट इट्स अ मिडवे अप्रोच कि मुझे भी बाहर जाना है, मुझे भी दोस्त को मिलना है, एंड आई ओनली मीट वन पर्सन एट अ टाइम, आई वोंट मीट ग्रुप्स. So you can find ways to meet your friends, you can find ways to have a slightly dysmorphic version of the campus experience, you know. uh, but yeah, it's not the same, of course, but having said that, this is not going to be lasting forever. I'm assuming if you're a junior college student, you still have 2 years of your degree, and then you have your masters, which is another couple of years. Whether you do it here or you go abroad, so life will come back to normal, guys. It's just a matter of patience, a little bit of faith on our part that we need to have. So don't sweat it. I'd say just roll with it like the rest of us are. Find funny, silly ways to bring back the old way of hanging out. You can do it. It's not impossible. Just wear a mask and sanitize your hands and don't crowd a place. And decide where you go. Avoid indoor places. Stick to outdoor places. Call in advance. Ask them, बहुत लोग हैं क्या उधर. Go on weekdays. Weekday nights are a lot of places will be emptier. You go on a Friday, Saturday night, then everyone's going to be there. So a lot of nice places in Lokhandwala and Bandra. You have to just Google that stuff. It's not rocket science. So yeah, that's what I feel.
Okay. Okay. So those are some useful tips given by you, Dr. Raman. Anybody? Believe me, I've attended his classes, and he's one of the best trainers I have seen in my own life.
बाप रे, ऐसा क्या? अच्छा, okay. Okay. I try to not bore my audience. That's like my number one. I said training तो हो जाएगा यार, सीख जाएंगे लोग. इतने भी बेवकूफ नहीं है if they've come for a training. But most importantly, they should have a smile on their face. They should be happy. खुश होके जाओ यार.
That's a USP actually. You use movie, scenes to explain yourself, to give examples and all. It was amazing. I still am nostalgic about it.
Now we are all part of a giant movie scene. Alright, ये मूवी चल रहा है. इनके स्क्रीन पे तो मूवी चल रहा है. मैं कोई ऐसा मूविंग पिक्चर हूँ. सब डर रहे हैं मेरे से सवाल पूछने को. Listen, I've been there also. When I was a student, some guest faculty comes and says, "I'm your friend. Ask me anything," and be like, "चल अंकल जाना है यार. कौन है कैंटीन में जाना है. बोर मत करो." So I've been there. Okay, I know. I'm not. As I said, I'm not that old. So all kinds of weirdos come to Xavier's College. Believe me.
So they are just thinking about it. They'll gather up questions, and I'm sure after the third to fourth question, you will ask your question.
Sure.
Do keep accumulating your questions.
ठीक है तस्नीम, you can ask me your questions and then they can ask as and when it occurs to them. Pressure मत डालो. Question पूछो. चलो, it's fine.
Sure.
हाँ, बोलो.
Okay. So my next question is something very generic, which has been always been a concern for students. Exams. Exams आती है जब भी, whenever we hear about exams, timetable आ जाएगा, right? So everybody, as a student, even I can relate to it. Whenever there is some exam, there's that sinking feeling, right? Those butterflies in your gut. Okay, even when you're prepared, you're not prepared. There are very few students who would say that we're not fearful or we don't get butterflies when we think of exams.
Yeah.
So can you just give us some tips as to how do we manage that stress, exam stress?
Well, the first thing you need to understand about examinations are they are a stamina building exercise. They are not determinants of success. Let me elaborate this. So a lot of people believe that if they do well in their exams, they will be successful. Don't understand one thing, guys. Examinations are a percolation process. जैसे आपके घर में someone's unmuted, huh? Please mute yourselves so we don't have any disturbances. So examinations are a percolation process. What do I mean by this? So for example, you have a water filter at your home, no? Hema Malini selling Kent RO water purifier. Okay. The examination kind of filters you to move you on to the next rung of the educational hierarchy. तो आपका 10th खत्म हो गया, आपका JC हो जाएगा. JC is done, degree, bachelor's after batch. So an examination by its very design is nothing but a distillation process. All right. And having said that, it's been created by a person only, a flawed individual like you, like me, a person with a family and a judgmental auntie. Every family has one of those. So don't see them as determinants of success because you'd be shocked at the number of successful people, rich people, leaders of industry who were all terrible students. So just because you are not well suited to the culture of examinations doesn't mean that you're not intelligent, doesn't mean you won't make tons of money, doesn't mean you won't invent something or become a part of something huge. Okay. It's one recruitment process. So some people are great at cracking exams. Fantastic, because a lot of examination writing, it's a skill, is about just reproducing stuff you have memorized. Now, I have a terrible memory. Terrible. But I'm very good at analysis. So I'm able to analyze, and I'm very good at spontaneously speaking and coming up with solutions. Because I also, before I was a mental health professional, I also worked in advertising, which is a very cutthroat industry, and that requires a very different kind of intelligence when you're dealing with clients. Okay, so I have a different type of intelligence, but मेरे को भी exam में I can't remember all that stuff. If the knowledge makes sense to me, I'll be able to reproduce it. So technically, I cleared a lot of my papers also the same way everyone else clears it. I tried to remember the important chapters, and I, replicated it. But that was not like knowing myself the way I do now. And you will, of course, as you grow older. That's not a true representation of my intelligence or my trajectory as a professional. So an examination is like a traffic signal. It's like a red traffic signal that says, "Ruk jao, stop now. This is where you need to pause." But it's not the entire road journey. It's not the entire highway that takes you to wherever the hell you're going. That's life. So don't look at your exams like the monsters they are. See, we're a largely underdeveloped or developing country, which means we all have grown up in homes where some generation before us didn't have money. And the only shortcut to money is through an education, which is why Indian parents are so obsessed with education, because they see education, the logic unka samjho, they come from a generation where money was hard to come by. So they come from a generation saying पैसा नहीं है, पैसा कैसे आएगा? Through education. तो बच्चों को क्या फोकस करना चाहिए किस चीज़ पे? Not on love, not on fun, not on travel, not on parties, not on friends, but on education. But look at it more broadly. I think all of life is an education. I think if you date someone who's an idiot, who calls you up at 12 o'clock at night crying, saying, "Oh, you don't love me. Oh, you're so horrible," I think that's also an education, and that's also an examination. So I see the whole of life as an examination. You're constantly being tested. You're being tested by your family that may have some very, very silly and archaic ideas for you and your future. तुम लड़की हो, तुमको ऐसे कपड़े नहीं पहनने चाहिए. How लोग क्या कहेंगे if you date this guy? So you are constantly being examined by society, by family. And I call bullshit on that, boss, because I believe that a lot of these so-called people who act like experts about how you should live have also made their fair share of mistakes. It's just that they have very, very effectively hidden those from you, created a very good image of themselves. Your mothers and fathers and uncles and grandparents have also done dumb shit. The only difference is not everyone had phone cameras back then, and there was no Twitter to archive their every time they got annoyed and said something they didn't mean. So, as I said, life is an examination. All right, you're going to be tested. You think you stop giving exams after you're a professional? No, I give an exam every day. I'm giving an exam right now. If I'm not interesting enough or I'm not making sense, who can I see now? I can see Niharika, I can see Meenal, I can see Ragini. They're all going to go to sleep. ये कौन अंकल आया है यार दोपहर को बोर करने को? She? They'll tune off, yaar. Netflix is watch the Queen's Gambit on Netflix. They won't watch this webinar. A lot of things are free. You can watch a video of a cat trying to push a little ball of cotton wool, and it'll be more entertaining than me, guaranteed. So I'm giving an exam right now, but I look at it as something that doesn't determine my future. See, if I give a webinar with 100 participants and all 100 are not going to like me, that's life. Some will say he was great, some will say, okay, yeah, well, you didn't learn much, but he was fun. And some will say, kya webinar yaar, mere ko to bahar jana tha. So you see, the same way I'm giving an exam, you will also be giving an exam in front of society, in front of your family, in front of your spouse, partner, boyfriend. And also the more formal exam where tumko paper milta hai, ek roll number milta hai, and you're supposed to write the answers. where you have to memorize information. But understand, a lot of life is not about memorizing information, because you can find that out on Google now. Wikipedia has probably will beat you to that. It's a lot about how do we analyze that information and how do we apply that information, because just hoarding information has no value. But unfortunately, the entire education system has been engineered to make you believe that the more information you hoard, the smarter you are. No, you have to learn to apply that information. ये तो वो बात हो गई that you are someone who's learning how to ride a motorcycle by watching a documentary on it. How will you learn? Unless you actually ride the motorcycle and fall, or scrape yourself, or you don't know how to change gears, you won't know how to ride a motorbike. You can't watch a documentary on Harley Davidson and say, now I know how to ride a motorcycle. So practical wisdom is not going to come to you through your exam. It's going to come to you through your first job, through your first relationship, through your first paycheck, and how much of that paycheck goes in buying new shoes or a handbag, or on how much of that actually goes in putting down some kind of scheme, an SIP or an FD, where you're kind of creating a nest egg for the future, where if you have a major emotion, a contingency, financial contingency, कुछ तो पैसा होना चाहिए. We know, right? In 2020, if you have had bad saving habits, the year 2020 has absolutely wiped you clean. So these are the things that no one talks about. No one teaches students about how to grow their money. No one teaches students how to be assertive and stand up and protect themselves from sometimes the very, very vicious work politics, or from sometimes the work politics won't kill you, but your family members will give you such a hard time. So no one teaches you the most valuable skills in life. How to grow money, how to be heard, public speaking. A lot of people are terrible at these so-called people ना जिनको एग्जाम लिखना आता है, and you see their faces on the buses, कि ये चाटे coaching classes के सारे लोग हैं. You see all those people's faces, those faces make me feel depressed, यार. So I feel so bad for them, because if you ask them to speak for 5 minutes on the so-called subject that they have studied, they will not be able to speak even for 5 minutes, because वो सब रट्टा रटाया है. So it's not about, as I said, hoarding knowledge. It's about becoming the knowledge. फिर बहेगा आपसे, it'll flow from you, यार. And then no one will be able to question you, because they know that you are inseparable from the knowledge. They've both become one. Okay. So an exam is just, as I said, it's a distillation process created by human beings, so that universities can recruit the best students, so that they can develop a reputation for having the best students, so that when their students leave and they say, ye to Harvard ka hai. Understand one thing, a good university doesn't create brilliant students, it hires brilliant students. They won't let you in only if you're not brilliant, if you don't have a 90% cutoff, 95, 99. So they are hiring, they are a business, no, at the end. ROI chalta hai na wahan pe, return on investment. You are the investment, no. If I get only the best people, zahir si baat hai ki aap yahan se nikloge, to you'll be one of the best people academically. But an academically good person is not necessarily successful in business, is not necessarily a good public speaker. Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Einstein, in सबके stories पढ़ो, Google पे है. None of them were textbook good students. And at the end they went and hired back their batchmates only, ना कि आजा भाई मेरे लिए काम कर. अब मैं बाप बन गया हूँ तुम्हारा. So I don't value exams as much as people value them. I said ठीक है यार. It's one of those many things you have to do in your life that everyone does. It's a rite of passage. ठीक है, हमने भी बहुत exam crack किए हैं. We can't change the system. You can't, take a flag and say, I'm going to not give exams, Satyagraha, Arvind Kejriwal style. No, don't give your exams. As I said, it's a stamina building exercise, okay? It's like this. It's like those rounds you see cricketers take around the field before the game. It's helping their muscles get loose. It's also helping their stamina improve. It has nothing to do with the game of cricket, but it's a stamina building exercise. So your exams, which you're writing, it's a stamina building exercise to prepare you for bigger challenges of life, bigger challenges like parenthood, bigger challenges like old age, bigger challenges like financial difficulties, bigger challenges like the coronavirus. Because once you are strong and you can handle stress better, because people are stressed around their exams, right? So see your exams as a conduit to help you deal with stress better. So it's like a passage. That's how I see them. So tomorrow stamina build ho jayega, then no one can knock you down. Not your parents, not your boss, not your industry. You say, I've been through hell and I'm prepared. I can handle this. So that's what I feel about it.
Okay, that's very interesting, and I mean, yes, we give a lot of importance to exams, and that is why we are so fearful of them. So you need to understand what exactly their importance is, and they're much smaller than the other exams that we have in our lives. Yes, definitely. Okay, so anybody who wants to ask any question now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Hi, sir. So, my question to you is, as you said, a lot of people, like including me, face a lot of difficulties from our family because they are like ऐसे मत करो, ये करो, वो करो. So, how do you get them to understand, or how do you deal with it? कि I want to do this, and this is what my calling is, and maybe like how do you deal with that?
A lot of things that you do or want or like will not be understood by the previous generations because that's just the nature of life. So the previous generations will always find the generations after them soft or unstructured or little weird because they didn't have a lot of access that you currently take for granted. It's even something as simple as access to the internet, access to, like, if you want to find out what a girl who's your age is wearing in Spain when she goes for a party, you can find that out with a simple Google search. What are the latest winter or spring trends for fashion in Argentina? If you want to learn how to cook something from Jamaica or how a Cuban cigar is made, anything, how the whiskey distillation process works in Scotland, or how to perform open heart surgery on a rabbit, whatever the hell you want to find out, you have access. So that means the way you think, the way you sort of deal with information is very different than how the previous generations done. Having said that, Rishika, all teenagers and young adults live a double life. There's a life that your family has access to, and there's a life that you have access to, and that is perhaps something that continues intergenerationally. Your father also may have bunked college and gone for some Rishi Kapoor or Anil Kapoor movie in his day and time, because that was the equivalent of what you may be doing, that you're watching YouTube videos on your phone. He didn't have a smartphone, he went and watched something at Getty Galaxy. So they have done equivalent. They have also gone just to a certain college to check out girls, your dad and all. They will never tell you these things. Okay. So every generation, young generation, has lived a double life. See, as long as you're not doing anything criminal, or you're not putting substances in your body that make you sick, that mess with your thinking, a few things that you do which are a definition of youth. थोड़ा एक lecture bunk कर लिया, थोड़ा बाहर का खाना खा लिया, went for an overnight at a friend's house. Maybe there are boys also. These are things every generation has done, and I don't see anything wrong in it. In fact, I would say tell the previous generation to ease up, okay? If she's not going to do it as an 18, 19-year-old, she's certainly not going to do it as a 58-year-old, okay? Because when your children are there, you have loans to pay, you have, your body also doesn't work the way it used to. You can't eat as much as you used to. So things change with age, things change. So your parents need not give you a stamp of approval on everything you do. You need to develop your own moral compass. You need to develop your own values, your own standards for yourself, because you're going to outlive them as well. It's just how it is. It's the nature of life. You're going to outlive them, so you're going to spend a very long portion of your life without them in your life. So you need to really consolidate for yourself what are the values that define your life. And for me, one of my greatest values is to have fun. Like, if I am doing something and I am bored while doing it, I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing it right. So that's why for me teaching is fun. So that's why I do it. Of course, you may wonder, a counselor, how can counseling be fun? Because people are crying, they are getting divorced, they are having breakups. For me, the process might be very, very stringent, or it may be very serious, but to see people with a lighter expression at the end of the session feel like they have found some solutions, some answers, some freedom from their families and the shackles that have been holding them back, that feeling is great fun to me. Guys, it's possible to be happy, it's possible to be focused, it's possible to be rational, and it's possible to live a life where you don't have to impress every damn person in a position of authority. Why do they have leverage over you? Because they're paying for stuff? Well, that's not going to be the case forever. You're going to start paying for your own shit at some point. So you got to make sure no one has leverage over you. Financial leverage is the main one. Emotional leverage is the other one. Because a lot of this world works on the concept of leverage. कौन किसका बाप किसके ऊपर बैठा है. So you have to figure out ways to detach from these various things so that you can live a life that you are proud of, that you are happy with. Because otherwise you'll have a midlife crisis after a certain point. Say, I lived to impress my mother, but she was never impressed. I lived to impress my teachers, but my teachers changed. Or I lived to impress my boss, but he fired me and he promoted someone else. The moment you live a life to make someone else happy, you've already compromised on your own vision for yourself. I'm not saying be selfish, but I'm saying have something known as self-interest. Okay, because no one gives a damn if you die depressed. Tell me in the last 3 days, how many times did you think about Riya Chakraborty and Sushant Singh Rajput? Nobody is thinking about them anymore. Now everyone's worried about Kangana Ranaut and Diljit Dosanjh. You see, public memory is very short. When that whole case was going on, everyone's talking about it. Ab kidhar gaye? Kidhar gaye ye sab log? No one cares. It's not on WhatsApp also anymore. It's old news. When Donald Trump was refusing to leave the White House, that's what everyone was talking about. He's such an idiot, he's playing golf, all these things are happening. But now no one's talking about it. So you see, public consciousness is very, very short term. So don't use that as an index to decide what is important for you, for your life. If you enjoy traveling, travel. If you enjoy, something and you're good at it, make sure that you can do it enough so you become the best at it. I had a client once, this girl, and she says that I want to do a bartending course in Barcelona and go and live with my, I want to go and live with my girlfriend. Ab bolo. How do I tell my parents? I said there is no secret formula I'm going to give you. There is a strong likelihood that if you break this news to your parents, they're either going to kick you out of the house, or they're not going to accept your choice of career, or they're not going to accept the lesbianism either. But the fact of the matter is that if this is something you badly want, how badly do you want it? Do you want it badly enough to have to sacrifice relationships at home? Because they just won't understand, because the conditioning is very strong. So, so I said that, maybe it's a time for you to ask yourself how badly you want these things, or are you just saying you want these things to create some kind of rebellious act of, disobedience. Some people just say things to just annoy their family. And I say, no, they have never been the priority. The priority is you and your journey. What they like and don't like is going to change with the seasons, with how old you are. First they'll say, pass your exams, we'll be happy. Then you'll pass those exams. Then they'll say, get married, we'll be happy. Then you'll get married. Then they'll say, have a child and we'll be happy. Then you'll have a child. Then you'll say, please send your child to us once a week because we barely see him. Only then we'll be happy. Then you'll send your child once a week and the child will go and break something. Then your mother will say, please discipline your child better. Then we'll be happy. Then you'll discipline your child. Where does it end? Then they'll say, well, your husband doesn't speak respectfully to us. Tell him to change. Then we'll be happy. Their demands are not going to die down anytime soon. The demands will end when their life ends. I know it's a very crude way of putting it, but think about it this way. There are not enough people talking about this. You need to protect your interest. You need to be honest with yourself, and your life is your bloody business, not your family's business. But having said that, agar muh ke bal gir gaye, if you fail at what you're doing, if you screw it up, if you piss away all your money, then they're not going to come to yank you out. Because they'll say, हमने तो बोला था, we had told you, we knew. So risk assessment भी बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. Which is why don't confuse your family with your mentors. You need to have a mentor who's also of a similar age as your parents, but is not from your family, so can give you very objective suggestions that don't come from emotion, but that come from an understanding of the business, that come from an understanding of life, that come from an that's why I call myself a youth mentor, because I'm here to give you perspectives that run parallel to the perspectives your parents give you, because my perspectives aren't emotional, they're practical. They're very, very practical. So sometimes people say, how can you say thodi bol sakte hain ki don't care about what your family thinks? See, that's because you've been conditioned. You have been conditioned to believe that if you're not making your parents happy, you're unworthy, ungrateful, indisciplined, and a brat. And I'm telling you here the complete opposite, that it's not your job to make them happy, that if they are unhappy, that's their bloody problem. They need to change their expectations and they may be happier. उल्टा बोला ना मैंने. But this is scares some people. They're not going to understand, Rishika. It's not their job. All right. It's for you to figure out how to get the things you want without ruffling feathers. So yes, you're going to have to do some things, under supervision of someone else who's equally mature, who's equally intelligent, and who can give you parallel advice and counsel that doesn't get you in trouble, but also helps you manage yourself. Okay? So think about it that way. Watch the movie Gully Boy. I'm sure all of you all have seen it. So he wants to be a rapper and his father sends him at that call center. तो कैसे वो जाता है, छुप के जाता है, and then his father finally comes at the final concert. See, your parents love you, yaar. Let's not turn them into villains. They love you, but also they're also stuck in a rut. They also represent an older way of thinking. So they will not trust you that if you say I will give results, I will generate wealth, I will become a bartender, or I will do this. They won't trust you till you first give them a sample of the results you can give. So coming back to the previous question, like bloody tenet, एकदम उल्टा सीधा सब चल रहा है. That is also an exam you need to pass. You need to pass the exam of winning their trust so that they may also relent a little bit and say, ठीक है, since you are able to crack exams, maybe you can crack this other thing also that you say you can do, because we know you have the discipline that it takes to be able to crack through and find solutions and generate wealth and build credibility and get shit done. Ulta ho gaya thoda. I went back to the previous question. I like to connect sometimes. So that's also an examination of a kind. Okay, it's not your job to impress them, but if you need their permission, you have to show them that you can give results. There's this movie of Ajay Devgan which I like called Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. So उसमें एक dialogue है, he says हिम्मत बताई नहीं दिखाई जाती है. So the same rules apply. Don't talk about what you're going to do. Show them. So this is all my friends have spent money at Starbucks and I have saved almost 50,000 rupees from the pocket money you've given me, and I want to invest it in gold. Or I want to, mom, take me to a jeweler and let's open a safety deposit कि dad मेरा एक FD चालू कर दो. 50,000 is not a big amount of money, but मैंने अपना पेट काटा है. Then your dad will say, wow, look at her. She understands the value of money. She's not spending money on 340 rupees ka coffee with a bloody smiley painted on it by some stranger. So you see, you have to show what you're prepared to do to also win their trust. So there are two sides to it. Not just that lie to your parents. No. Not just that don't impress your parents. It's about also negotiating effectively with them so that they give you certain freedoms. You can't just say, I'm an adult. Show that you're an adult. Don't declare it. You don't have to do anything special to come of age and go through puberty. उसमें तुम्हारा कोई contribution नहीं है. Okay?
I have a question for both of you all, and I really want to know what insights both of you all would give. So the first question would be for Sir when he said that a person shouldn't be selfish, but there's something called that we should have self-interest. So I
Yes.
just wanted if we can differentiate. And the other thing that I wanted to ask, so we all have passed our age of being an adolescent before. So all of us have gone through a lot of things. So, and we all know that all of these things come back to us as a nightmare, or maybe such vivid thoughts which really disturbs us at times. So how do you get over such emotional baggages in life?
So what was the first question again? See, my bad memory, because you asked two questions.
Yes.
First one,
So,
go ahead. Break it down.
Yeah.
I'll answer
So
both.
you said that a person shouldn't be selfish.
Got it.
So,
Stop
if
right
you
there.
talk
Stop
about,
right there. Got it. So the difference between selfishness and self-interest. So selfishness is basically a kind of arrogance or anger towards people. Say, sort of screw them. I'll do whatever the hell I want. That's selfishness. Self-interest is like this. It sounds like this. It's like, okay, I need to do this for myself. I wish they would come along with me on this journey. I wish they would support me. I won't say screw them, but they are also challenged. They also, maybe don't understand these things, or maybe I haven't done enough to prove my mettle in front of them. So it's not a question of screw them. I have to do this for myself. And if they don't approve, so be it. That's life. Not everyone likes everything. Not everyone agrees with everyone. So that is self-interest. So there's no hostility here. There is empathy. Okay, there's an understanding and sensitivity to the fact that, they may not appreciate what I do till I actually do it and say, oh, look, That's why people say, right, भाग के actor बन गए, भाग के क्यों भाग रहे हो? Because no one believed in their abilities, and then when they prove themselves, सब आ जाते हैं, अरे अरे हमारा लड़का पता है एक्टर बन गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. So it's really a question of the attitude you have towards the people who are trying to stop you or who are trying to derail you or who say no 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 तुमसे नहीं होगा, you're an idiot, तुमसे नहीं होता, please listen to us only, शादी कर लो, खत्म कर दो. So you have to defend your position, no, like in chess it's all about attack and defense. You have to defend your position while also attack and go for the king. So think about it that way. Acha, what was the second question now? Abhi bol do mujhe.
The second one was like we all have like a few vivid memories that we come across every now and
Got it,
then, or
got
if
it,
you
got
could
it.
relate to something that happens the first day and then you go back to, you know, once you had been through that same thing. So how do you actually try to get over such kind of emotional baggages in life?
It's a very, very interesting question you've asked. So here's the thing: a memory is like a story that you repeat to yourself. That oh, I got broken up with, or oh, I didn't have enough money, or oh, I used to be so fat, or oh, I screwed up this exam, or oh, my mother actually wanted a son and landed up with a daughter. What is it? It's a story you're telling yourself. So any story can be always seen from two perspectives. Either in that story you paint yourself as a victim and you feel very sorry for yourself. Oh no, कितना बुरा हुआ मेरे साथ. I'm locked down. I'm alone. 2020 चला गया मेरी life का साल. That's a victim's mindset. Survivor says big shit यार. सबके लगे पड़े हैं. अमिताभ बच्चन भी घर पे फंसा हुआ है. अमित शाह को भी होके चला गया. टॉम हैंक्स भी कोरोना होके चला गया. सब इस फालतूगिरी से गुजर रहे हैं. तो मेरे अकेले रोने से, मेरे रोने से थोड़ी वैक्सीन स्पीड में बनने वाला है. I'll deal with it. Tough shit. Life sucks sometimes. Sometimes it's unfair. Sometimes it's uneven. Sometimes life almost feels like it's constantly trying to throw you in a gutter. But it's all about seeing things from a different perspective, isn't it? So you can induce misery or you can induce hope. You have to choose what you would like to induce in yourself. And that's an acquired skill also. So there are some days even I wake up, I'm in a slump, अरे यार ये है, वो है, नहीं है, वो है. Then ऐसे अमन शांत हो जा भाई, तेरे पास एक अच्छी गाड़ी है, तू अपने अकेले घर में रहता है, you know, तेरे फ्रिज में चिकन है, तो कुछ क्या टेंशन ले रहा है भाई लाइफ में, काम मिल रहा है तेरे को, थोड़ा बहुत पैसा भी आ रहा है, चिल कर ना, नेटफ्लिक्स देख, क्वींस गैम्बिट देख, लाइफ एंजॉय कर, you know. So this is how I speak to myself. So you have to change the tonality of how you speak to yourself. Speak to yourself as a friend. How would you speak to your best friend? If your best friend calls up saying, oh, I got cheated on, that guy is like such a bastard, he did this to me. How will you speak to that friend? You say, listen yaar, hota hai, I know it's shit. Bol bhai, milna hai ki nahi milna hai. Let's figure it out. Let's talk it out. So start speaking to yourself in that way. So what if you have made mistakes, Diksha? So what if people have done things to you that, you know, were not fair? Whoever has told you that अच्छे लोगों के साथ अच्छा ही होता है has lied to you. I'm sorry, that's stuff you tell a 8-year-old to give them hope so they are not scared of sleeping alone. Okay? अच्छे लोगों के साथ अच्छा होता है ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Okay? सबके साथ सब कुछ होता है. It's a question of right place, right time, wrong place, right time, right place, wrong time. That's what life's about. A lot of the shit that's going to happen to you is random. No one has chosen you to go through suffering. But yes, suffering is a universal thing. All of us have suffered. But are you somebody who suffers and then cries and makes everyone else suffer with them? Or are you someone who suffers, learns to smile, learns to pick yourself up and then picks 100 other people up in the bargain? That's the difference. So yes, memories will come to haunt you. But understand, a memory is a transition. It's a transitionary event. See, you may have 10-15 minutes where you're thinking about a certain memory that upsets you. But 2 hours later, you'll be thinking about something else. So don't get so attached to your thoughts. It's the other way around. Your thoughts are coming and attaching themselves to you. So you don't get attached to them. वो आते हैं, वो जाते भी हैं. Okay, and that's with everyone. It's not just with you. With me also. Some bad thoughts will come. Some ex-girlfriend who gave me trouble will enter my head. I'll be like, oh man, she was a real piece of work and gave me so much stress. And then after some time, I'll be like, अच्छा क्या चल रहा है अभी? चलो कुछ खा लेते हैं. That's how the mind works. It's constantly injecting ideas. But those ideas, as I say, they're very fluid. They pass through your consciousness. They pass through. So don't overindulge your memories. Because at the end, what is a memory? It's a story, isn't it? And there are always two ways to look at a story. Look at the story from a loser's mindset, thinking मेरे साथ बुरा हुआ, or you look at it from a winner's mindset, saying कि बुरा मेरे साथ हुआ, दुनिया के साथ होता है, और मेरे साथ और भी शायद बुरा होगा, but at least I'm in a better position today. At least now I know how to protect myself from liars and cheats and bullies, as compared to who I was a few months ago, a few years ago. And the liar, cheats and bullies can come from both outside the house and inside the house. Be very, very careful about that. घर वाले हैं इसलिए ये नहीं मतलब है कि they are not going to try to belittle you. Okay? I think every Indian girl who I have met has at least once in her life been subjected to some kind of venom from some auntie in her family about her skin color or her weight or her choice of clothes, or some creepy uncle in her house who has looked at her from a slightly turkey and sexual point of view. All Indian girls, that is the nature of perhaps family life as well. It's shitty, but it's what it is, isn't it? So understand that you're not alone. Okay? And which is why it's very important for you to learn how to protect yourself. Like as I say, protect yourself from the bullshit that surrounds you, and don't believe everything you hear. My life's motto. I even tell my students, don't believe everything I say also. Kya baat hai? Question me also. Arre? I'm just one guy giving you an opinion. If you like what I'm saying, then believe me. Just because I was born a few years before you doesn't mean you are under some contract to believe me. You can disagree with me. Say, what rubbish he's speaking. Logical baat hai. I'm not afraid of disagreements. What I'm afraid is when people stop thinking for themselves. तुमको एक बुद्धि दी है, उसको यूज करो, उसको abuse ना करो by bringing back all those memories and blaming yourself and belittling yourself and hating yourself and judging yourself. So don't understand that you also were working with lesser information back then. The information you now have, if you had that same information back then, you probably wouldn't have made the decisions you made, and you probably would have avoided the problems you faced. So you are also evolving, na? So that means your conflict resolution and skills are also evolving with you, isn't it? Your ability to deal with problems evolves with you, no? That's why they say the older you get, the more mature you get. No, it's not necessary. Some very old people are also ridiculously immature, and some 22-year-olds are extremely emotionally mature. It's really about your attitude towards this act of learning. कि मुझे कितना खींचना है. I said this again, going back, tenet stuck in my head. Back when I started, I said you have to extract from me what you need in the limited time that we are sharing together. Okay, and then I'm going to go from your life unless you later follow me on Instagram. Okay, Dr. Aman Bhosle. Find me on Instagram. I post lots of videos. ऐसा ज्ञान बहुत बांटता हूँ मैं उधर free में. If you like what I have to say or how I say it, you're welcome to follow me there. Okay, so yeah, it's really a question of what you feed your mind and what you repeat to yourself that creates the environment, the microclimate of your emotions, so to speak. So I hope that makes sense to you.
What is the purpose which people stress on? So how important or relevant it is, like in Indian education system, there's no SOP or something when you get admissions, like when you want to go for masters or something. It's just you have to pass certain exam or maybe some interviews and then that. So how important it is to maybe find your interest or leverage it in the world.
If you like something, if you enjoy doing something, you're likely to do it often. If you do it often, you're likely to get a lot of practice. If you're likely to get a lot of practice, you're likely to get good. If you're likely to get good, you're likely to get better. If you're likely to get better, you're likely to become the best. And when you become the best, you can charge a price for being the best. And when you can charge a price for being the best, you can live a comfortable lifestyle. You can pay your Wi-Fi bills, have a decent car and apartment. So it's a very straight and linear path that if you like something, you will invest more in it and it will reap dividends. Now, as I told you, colleges are businesses. They are looking to recruit, churn and burn, send you out. So a college doesn't have an emotional stake in your success. A college has a fiscal stake in your presence and in your exit, because you become a brand ambassador for the college. You wear the jersey, you are there in the yearbook. So you are an advertisement for the college when you leave. So this is why I'm constantly saying they are running businesses. I'm not, that doesn't make them bad. Okay? Just because someone runs a business doesn't make them bad. But you have to see it for what it is. Your college doesn't give a damn about how happy you are at the workspace that you inhabit. Your college doesn't give a damn about how capable you are when you are hired and when you have to work with, when you work with people of other nationalities, there's a certain way you have to work with Japanese colleagues, with Australian colleagues, because they all come from different cultures. Do you know something? In Japan, if you take a nap in the middle of a workday at your desk, it's considered a very good thing because it shows the seniors that you are overworked and that you have probably spent a lot of time. Try doing that in India. क्या होगा? In Australia, if you work beyond 5:30 or 6 p.m., you are considered an inefficient worker because you are unable to finish the tasks given to you in the stipulated time. But if you do after hours in Hong Kong or in Singapore, you're considered a model employee. कि देखो ये late तक रुकता है, देखो. So you see, these things are very contextual. Okay. So it is very important for you to find something you're passionate about because that passion will burn a light that is pretty bright. And it will draw people like moths to a flame. People will come to you if you are competent and they will invite you and maybe they'll pay you. Maybe they'll give you some respect and some time if that's what you want. Really depends on what industry you choose. Having said that, you're going to have to try several things. It's like when you go to a buffet. You've spent a lot of money. What's that place? Global Fusion. I have seen people go to Global Fusion and go and directly serve themselves rice and dal because that is familiar to them with some pakoras because that's what they know. Sushi ko हाथ भी नहीं लगाएंगे. नहीं लगाना है हमको sushi को हाथ. Because all human beings tend to migrate towards what they know. So here's the trick. Try to know about as many different things in your life as possible. Knowledge that doesn't necessarily connect with your line of work or your field of education, you should also have it because you know what that makes you? That makes you a fantastic conversationalist. All right. So if someone talks to you about surf culture in Los Angeles in the 90s, or someone talks to you about how the Tsar was overthrown by Stalin, you should have a little bit of knowledge of all these things so that you can draw information from various groups. So you should know a little bit of your history, know a little bit of geography, know a little bit about pop culture, music, cinema, know a little bit, thoda science bhi malum hona chahiye, basic stuff. So you have to kind of be versatile and you have to try many different things. Okay, so very often parents come to me, they struggle, this is before the pandemic obviously, because now your mobility is a challenge, right? They'd say, oh, he's sleeping all day, he doesn't wake up on time, he's only playing Fortnite, how do we get him to focus on his studies? He doesn't seem to be interested in studies. I say that they make him responsible towards contributing towards the payment of all the bills in the house. So every task you give him, he will be rewarded a certain monetary amount, and then that monetary amount has to contribute towards the house. And based on how much work he puts in, he starts getting privileges. So connect his privileges with the work he puts in. Okay, privileges such as traveling with friends, privileges such as night outs, privileges such as a Netflix membership, privileges such as a new phone, or even Wi-Fi in the bedroom. I said, so everything has to be connected with incentives because some people don't understand decently. So you have to tie it in. You have to say, all right, you're a grown-up, now you start contributing towards the bills. Okay, this is from this month onwards, you are in charge of all electricity bills. क्या है ना, when money enters the equation, people start understanding their real औकात. कि हम कितने पानी में हैं. Then you don't have those freeloaders. There's a culture of freeloading. Not just in India, everywhere. Because understand one thing, the world will not give you handouts. The world will always give you something in exchange. You offer me this, I give you this in return. You offer me your time and skills, I'll offer you money. You offer me expertise, I give you a house rent allowance and we start your PF account and you become an employee and you have employee stock options, etc. So it's always something for something. So this needs to be taught. So that's what I believe. You have to create causes and effects and you have to have a lot of exposure. So taste every dish on the buffet, thoda try karo and then decide which one you like so you can go back for your second helping. Okay. And that's how you understand what your purpose in life is, what you enjoy, what you love. Because anything you enjoy doing, you can develop yourself in it, and then you become a leader or you become an example. There was this guy I knew, he's on Instagram. He's a doctor by training, but he's interested in food photography. So he learned all his food photography from YouTube, free tutorials. And now he conducts online webinars only on food photography, and he gets invited by several top restaurants to do their menus, to for their promotional events. So free mein khata hai. And he's also interested in yoga, so he's also doing some yoga stuff. So he's a doctor by training, but food photography is his passion, and he invested in it, and he became really, really good at it. So you can be a combination of any number of things. You can be a belly dancer on the weekends, but you could be a medical doctor. You could be a trekker, but you could also be a mother of a child. You could be any combination. So don't let anyone pigeonhole you or put you in a box. Okay? Because that's more a question of their imagination being limited rather than your options being limited. Your options are limitless. In the internet era, you can learn anything from your couch. There are so many websites. If you don't have money, you can learn on YouTube. You can learn everything on YouTube. You just need to find the right channels. And if you start seeing videos of a certain theme, the YouTube algorithm is so intelligent that it will start recommending similar content to you. So if you want to really assess how you spend your spare time on YouTube, just look at your recommendations. Are you getting videos of Kiara Advani's latest fashion choices? Or are you getting videos related to stuff related to dogs or being cute? Or are you getting TED Talks recommended to you? Are you getting histories and biographies of the world recommended to you? So that will also tell you कि आप कितने पानी में हो. See, whatever you spend time with, it rubs off on you. It infects you. So be very mindful of what you spend time doing, what you spend time seeing, and who you invite in your life. Understand one thing, your securing a good future for yourself is connected with your parents, but it's not everything to do with your parents. Okay, so it's lovely that you're supporting your dad, etc., and it's very valid for him to also question you, saying भी यहाँ तुमने रायता फैलाया तो इस बात की क्या गारंटी है कि आप वहाँ जाके बकवास नहीं करके आओगे. So because see, we are all defined by our track record, and there is no way to escape our track record. And to create a new reputation, a new track record, time is needed, mehnat is needed, and of course, a little bit of faith in yourself is required. And see, as the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's built brick by brick. Yeah, thoda thoda aapko karna hai. So you're anyway on the right path. So I don't see a problem in what you're doing right now. And I have heard endless numbers of stories of people, dropping out, engineering rejects, becoming stand-up comedians, people who are in IIT getting into marketing, people with MBAs suddenly getting into hospitality and opening a small cafe somewhere, people who are from the hotel management industry suddenly getting into filmmaking. So these transitions happen all the time. It's just that they're invisible to us because we are not paying attention. How many times do you see a person's entire educational track record? You don't see these things because they're not going to shout it. They're not going to say, hi, I'm this person, I went to this college, I went to this school. No one introduces themselves that way. Okay, so transitions are normal. Okay, ठीक है, you made some mistakes, you had some lapses. It's common, it's normal. You move on from it because there's no other option but to move on. Time moves forwards, no? Unless you're watching that horrible movie Tenet, worst movie on the planet. फिर उधर उल्टा भी जाता है, time ऊपर भी जाता है, नीचे भी जाता है. But as far as you are concerned, you have to move forward. Okay, so when you move forward, you're doing several things which tick many boxes. You're helping your father, you've changed your stream, you are more cautious about the efforts required, isn't it? So I think you're well on your way, man. So the big question for you is how to do something that you're good at and good enough at to become the best at, or at least aspire to become the best at, because enjoyment is a huge factor in becoming competent, in my opinion. Like if you enjoy something, competence will naturally follow because you will be entrenched in how to better your game. Okay. As far as your parents' doubts are concerned, give them time. Look, they're also not your enemies. They're not sitting there with sniper rifles pointed at you, you know. They are also probably bruised. Seeing you go through that also must have hurt them as parents, because they may have felt completely helpless, unable to support you in any way except maybe monetarily. Moral support parents जो देते हैं उसकी भी एक सीमा होती है, उसकी भी एक लिमिट होती है, isn't it? Why do so many young people, old people as well, prefer to talk to their friends or prefer to talk to their counselor? They're not able to talk to their mothers and fathers because these mothers and fathers may also be very biased because they are so close to you. It's like this. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love to do this thing. You know, back then there were no flat screen TVs. I used to go right next to the TV screen and touch my nose. And my father used to always say that when you're sticking your nose to a TV screen, you can't enjoy the movie. You can't enjoy the cartoon. Only when you have a certain distance from it can you see all the colors. So with your parents also, they're like me when I was a kid. I said they are stuck to you. They're not able to see various facets of your personality and of your life and of your moral dilemmas to be able to fully entrust you with their respect. They're too close. That's why people like mentors, therapists exist, because we are so distant from you. We probably meet you for just a couple of times, that too for just 1 hour per session, that we are able to quickly analyze without emotions getting in. Because the moment emotions get in, so even you say out here that, oh, I feel emotional, will I be able to do it, will I not be able to do it? See, there is always a 50% chance of success and failure. But you lower your failure rate if you enjoy what you're doing, because you are likely to invest more in it and thus become more skilled at it. Are you understanding? It's very simple, logical, nothing esoteric I'm sharing with you here, okay? It's not about positive vibes or anything, no. It's about putting in the time, putting in the hours, practice, finding people who can teach you. Not everything can be learned DIY, okay? Some things require you to go through the rigmarole. Some things you can teach yourself. Like I had nobody who taught me how to use Microsoft Word. I didn't go Microsoft Word ke classes. Kar ke seekh gaya. No one taught me how to type with both hands. I learned it kar karke. So some things you can learn in a DIY way. So another important lesson for you to remember is, if you have questions to ask them the way you've done today. Doesn't make you small. If people judge you, they'll judge you for asking questions. They'll also judge you for not asking questions. They'll judge you for whatever you do. Remember this in life. It's a very funny thing. They will judge you for whatever you do. If you stand still in a corner, on a street corner, they'll judge you for that also, saying, why are you standing still? You should move, otherwise, your bodies will have cramps, it's not good for your spine. You should do some stretching exercises. Don't stand still. So whatever you do, judgment will come one way or the other. So you have to start becoming immune to it. लोग बकते रहेंगे यार, उनको क्या काम है क्या लोगों को व्हाट्सएप पे बैठी हुई आधी दुनिया हैं? No one gives a damn anymore. Okay, everyone's just looking for a distraction. This is why people watch Kapil Sharma, Big Boss. दूसरों की वाट लगने में मजा आता है लोगों को, समझ गए? तो उतना सोचो मत उसके बारे में. अपना अपना रेस भागो. आपको ही पहुंचना है. It's a solo race. You are running alone. You are just improving your time. Stop watch पे देखो. Am I faster? Am I smarter? Am I more interesting to myself? And if I'm interesting to myself, I may also be interesting to a few other people. And then you find your tribe. Then you can make really good friends, friends that last decades. Not just friends who go out together and take a few selfies and then you never see them again after your 25th birthday. Ki kaun hai? Like I see so many photos of so many birthday parties when I was closer to your age. Where are all these people now? I'm not even in touch with them. कुछ लोगों के तो नाम भी याद नहीं है मुझे. And some of my closest friends didn't come for a single birthday of mine because we're in different countries or whatever. So that's life. You evolve and you also dissolve certain aspects of yourself. You got to be new. You got to shed your skin. You got to work intelligently, and you got to be very objective while making assessments about yourself. If you aren't able to be objective, go to a counselor. If you don't have the budget for a counselor, identify a friend who may be a few years elder to you, who can actively mentor you like a sibling you never had, because they have the benefit of wisdom. They have the benefit. उनकी भी दो चार गलतियां हुई है, मे बी मोर देन दैट. वो भी मुंह के बल गिरे, उनका ऐसा नाक हो गया गिर गिर के माइकल जैक्सन की तरह. So they also know what it's like. They have been through heartbreak. They have been broke. They have been too drunk. They have also had to get in trouble with their families. So they have managed to navigate their way. So they'll give you some tips. But not everyone has such friends, which is why the safe option is go to a counselor. No harm. Okay. So go to someone you're comfortable with. Sometimes parents come to me saying, Dr. Aman, how many sessions will my child need with you? I say, look, I don't want to be arrogant about it and say your child needs a minimum of 4 sessions and then I will do some jadoo mantar and give some, amazing prescription and their problem will go. See, your child also has to be comfortable with me, na? What if the way I speak or the way I look, इधर से देखो तो अर्जुन कपूर दिखता है, ऐसे कोई येड़े लोग मेरे को बोलते हैं. What if they are uncomfortable with a man counseling them? Sometimes women don't open up to men. कोई ये आदमी, ये मैं क्या 34-year-old guy is going to bloody understand how it feels when you're cheated on by your boyfriend. उसको थोड़ी मालूम है. So it's a two-way process. Remember, everything in life is a two-way process. So you have to be open and you have to have no arrogance about it. Don't be arrogant about your knowledge. I also had some good teachers. I read some good books, so that I believe my knowledge flows through me. It's not me entirely. I've also done stupid things. My God, if you all had met me when I was 21, you would not be calling me for a webinar. Kind of shit I've done in Xavier's. Let's not even go there. ये अगला सवाल नहीं होना चाहिए अभी. So I also bunked lectures. I've also been kicked out of classes. I also dated some really strange and dubious women. We've all been there. It's life. You evolve, you grow. Nothing to be afraid of. सबने किया है. बस छुपाते लोग बहुत हैं. नहीं, हमने कुछ नहीं किया. So yeah. Tasneem, go ahead. Ask me a question.
Okay, so this discussion is becoming so wonderful, Dr. Aman. I don't want it to end now. Like, my students are also asking really interesting questions, and the way you are answering, it's always great to see you interact.
Whatever thoughts or processes we have, like the one she asked questions ki I let her down, or certain standards are set by them and certain conditioning is being done. So that's why we feel guilty or maybe sad about it. So is there you said, you spoke about therapy and stuff and talking about friends. That is what I was asking. There are certain books which help us. So that could be changed. Like it takes a longer time if you realize this later.
Yeah, it does. It does take a long time, of course.
Like
So what's
I've
the
read
question?
some stuff about HEP synapse and like the 21 days habit cycle.
Yeah. Tim Ferriss ka kuch to you're talking about, is it? Or Jordan Peterson? Who are you referring to? There are many books. There are many good books. And everyone, Eckhart Tolle. they all
Yeah, I was
spoke-
talking about James Clear and the new about the HEP synapse. It was included in that also.
हाँ, पढ़ो. You see.
To break a certain thing,
So what's
it
the
takes
question?
a longer time.
So what's the question?
Is it the mental conditioning we are
Of
being
course.
like from
Yeah,
years? That's why we
of
are
course, of
shaped
course.
like that.
Correct.
How do we break it or mold it?
Well, you got to uncondition yourself, isn't it? It's like this. If you're in a room and the AC is too cold, what do? You modify the temperature, you turn the AC off for some time. Similarly, your parents live in your head constantly. Tasneem knows what I'm talking about now. PAC model, right? Transactional analysis. So a part of what your parents or your teachers or several other authority figures have taught you or told you is right versus what is wrong, a part of that lives in your mind. Now you come of age, you have to start asking questions whether what they said was really right, what they said was really wrong. For example, if you grow up in a conservative Jain family or vegetarian household and you are conditioned to believe that everyone who eats non-veg, unka khoon garam ho jata hai, and because they are more prone to violence. How does that explain a guy like Jesus who used to eat meat and fish? उसके साथ violence हुआ, उसने किया नहीं बेचारे ने, उसको तो लटका दिया. If stories are to be believed. All right. And there are technically more countries in the world that eat meat as a staple than a bunch of vegans or vegetarians. So how do you explain those numbers? How do you explain the fact that Sweden has never been in a major war throughout all the world wars, and they largely eat sausages and they eat a lot of red meat? How do you explain that? A lot of countries who have never been in a war are predominantly consuming meat. They've never had paneer in their life. So you see, you have to start asking logical questions to yourself. If you ask your parents, they say, "No, हमारे में ऐसे ही होता है." Okay, fine, calm down. So be very mindful of who you are directing your questions to. I suggest you direct your questions to the experts, to the internet, and to yourself, so that you can learn, so that you can grow, so that you are not a slave of your conditioning. You understand what I'm saying out here? Because your conditioning was, it's like a compass. It's like Google Maps. Now, Google Maps will work most of the time, but certain areas it just doesn't work. So then you have to look at the road signs. You have to ask, भैया ये रास्ता यहाँ से कैसे जाता है? You have dead zones, no, with Google Maps. But so your family was initially like what the role that Google Maps plays for you. They point you in a certain direction. But after a certain time, you have to start using your mind and saying, where the hell am I? Do I always need Google Maps to reach where I need to go? Or can I also identify the landmarks, remember the roads? And also maybe I find a route that is better than Google Maps, a shortcut because there's a new flyover that has built. So essentially, what is life? Life is about navigation, man. Life's about navigation, negotiation, and the overcoming of obstacles in your own unique way. So that's what I feel about it. You gotta be patient with yourself. You gotta be patient with the journey of life, and you gotta start asking questions to undo your conditioning. Because yes, many parts of our conditioning are ridiculous because they represent ideas of a time period that maybe you aren't even from. Right. So, for example, my grandfather had something against people who drink. Daru is the number one evil of society. He never, my granddad and I never had a discussion on violence against women or not encouraging women to study. Daru was the big one for him. So I should not drink for many years. And I'm very, very selective. I'll have a single malt. So sometimes I'll have a wine. Mostly when I'm just with friends. I don't drink like on a daily basis. So I started asking questions. I'm like, why has no one questioned my granddad? I thought, he's too old. I suppose he's an old man now. He may not be his senses. But then I went back to the history of his family. I said, Acha, who was my granddad's father? What did he do? Gaon. Okay. All great granddads start in Gaon. This is India. Gaon in which part of India? Maharashtra. Acha. Then I said, who else do I know from Gaons in Maharashtra? Anna Hazare. So Anna Hazare bhi bolta hai, daru kharab cheez hai. I've been to Ralegan Siddhi. So I was like, Acha. So perhaps rural values subscribe to the idea that drinking is evil. Why? Because when you live in a rural society, productivity vis-a-vis farm life is very, very important. And you always have this concept of the village drunk. And they also come from an era where they saw white people drink. So it was seen as goron ke shauk, amiron ke shauk. Good for nothing people drink and fall in the gutter. So that was his conditioning of the era. So alcohol became the evil thing which he passed to his children, that got passed to my generation. Alcohol isn't evil. You see a German girl who's 17 years old sitting in a bikini with her grandfather having a beer with him. Moral or immoral? It's contextual, na? She won't be like, Dadaji aa gaye and cover her head. Usme kya hai? It's her body and she's drinking a beer, and Dada also drinks. Germany mein they drink beer like it's bloody Ruh Afza, yaar. Every village has its own way of making beer. If you've heard of Oktoberfest in Germany. So it's a part of their culture. So you need to expand your knowledge of the various cultures that exist in this world so that you can draw from them. Like, I'll tell you something about myself. I used to be very hard on myself, okay? One of you all asked me a question. I'm bad with names. About you feel bad about something. I used to be very hard ki you're not working enough. To kar nahi rahe. Then I went backpacking to Barcelona and I realized the entire city shuts down for 3-4 hours in the afternoon. Why? Kyunki neend aa gayi. Also, the sun sets at 10 p.m. during the summers. So those 4 hours in the afternoon are not going to harm them because they will be open for those many hours at night to compensate. So I said, yaar, ye kamal ki baat hui, isn't it? Because my ideas of productivity are restricted to me constantly working through the day and then feeling tired at the end. But what if I had a way of being productive where I'm productive during the first half, the middle half I'm doing absolutely nothing, then suddenly in the evening I do a little more and then I'm a free man? I said, so we can organize our time in a way that suits us. We can organize our life, our careers, our relationships in a way that suits us. So don't be bound to your culture. Create your own culture. That's what I say.
So, sir, my very first question to you will be: how does one stop living in denial? Like for some people, it's hard to accept things. Like acceptance is a, big thing for them. Like some things are too difficult or too hard for them to accept. So then they start living in their own, world and living in denial mainly. So how does one stop doing that? And second question will be very technical, but it will be like, how does one identify or like pinpoint this, that this is what anxiety is? Like, how do you recognize that you have anxiety?
Okay. So how do you stop living in
Yeah.
denial? That's so. I'll give you an analogy. How do you stop living in darkness? You turn on the lights in the
Sorry.
room, isn't it? How do you stop living in
Sorry.
darkness? How do you stop living in darkness? Do you fight the darkness? No, you just turn on the first light, or you light a candle. Similarly, the only way to stop living in denial is to stop being in denial. It's as simple as that, really. There's no strategy to it. See, I believe something very simple. If you have fallen flat on your face a certain number of times, beyond a point it starts getting very bloody embarrassing for you. You say, यार मैं इतना लल्लू हूँ कि मैं गिरता रहता हूँ. I keep getting screwed over. I keep getting cheated. I keep getting, drafted and shafted, so to speak. What's happening with me? Why am I so gullible? Or why am I so unstructured? So that embarrassment has to mount to a certain level. So usually in counseling, sometimes parents come to me saying, "Oh, our child is not willing to recognize the fact that he's suffering." So I said, then maybe your child hasn't suffered enough. Because when they've suffered enough, then they'll say, okay, I really need some help now because I've suffered enough and I can't handle this on my own. My family can't help me, and I need help. I need assistance. So, yeah, have you suffered enough? If you have, you'll stop being in denial. So that's the first question. What was the second one? Remind me again.
The second question was,
Anxiety,
how do you
anxiety,
recognize
anxiety.
that?
How do you recognize you have
Yeah.
anxiety? So there are several telling signs. So if you're losing your appetite, you can't sleep at night, you're not able to focus on your work, you're cutting off from your friends and family, you've stopped speaking, and you used to be someone who liked to chat. If you start having very depressed thoughts in your mind about, oh, I want to end my life, or life sucks, or everything sucks, those are usually telling signs that you may be going through anxiety. Also physically, you notice certain changes, rapid weight gain, rapid weight loss. um, you know so these are some of the more telling signs of anxiety. And yeah, I mean, you can be this, but then a lot of people also misdiagnose just being generally worried as anxiety. Because by that logic, everyone who's given an exam has suffered with anxiety. No, you can be concerned and worried. You can have a shitty day, but that doesn't qualify as anxiety. They call it anxiety when it is
Correct.
experienced, correct, over a sustained period of time. So you've been feeling the same way for several days. 1 month has gone, and every day it's the same routine. You feel horrible, you feel small, you feel almost reduced, you feel extremely unworthy, unlovable, you feel like you're stuck in a dark place and no one's able to understand what you're going through, then that needs examination. All right? So that's how you define it.
Okay.
Thank you,
So-
sir.
You're
Helps
most
a lot.
welcome. You're most welcome.
So, does anybody have any further question? Dr. Aman, sorry, we have taken almost half an hour more than what we
Koi
were
baat nahi.
scheduled.
I'm here to help, to serve and protect. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
No problem, yeah.
Yes, anybody else wants to ask any question?
We'll take one last question, because then I need to also get on with certain tasks. So I hope you guys don't mind.
Sure. So, we'll take one last question.
Sure.
Anybody? If not, then I'll put my question.
तस्नीम के क्वेश्चन रह गए यार तुम लोग के चक्कर में. Put Tasneem's like, I have another
Yes.
76 questions to ask.
I have
मतलब रात तो हो ही
lot of
जाएगा आज.
questions, but we can go on. we can go on till that night. Okay. So I'll put my question. So another
Go.
interesting point, or one thing that my students are going to face, is interviews. Exams are a kind of a stress. Interviews are another kind of a stress. And again, exam, as you very rightly pointed out, just tests you in a particular format, and it's easy to crack exam. But interviews is like your entire, as a person, you are put to judgment, and you're judged.
Yeah.
Every point, and you feel that stress before appearing, for interview. So how do you manage that?
So see, giving good interviews and successful interviewing skills is a completely different workshop. But let me give you a very handy thing to remember. Understand that your interviewer also can be cross interviewed by you. So when you go for an interview, it's not just you who is there to answer questions. Uska bhi viva le lo. So you could ask questions like, what is the typical growth path for someone in the role that I'm going to fill out, or what would you say is the work culture of this organization, or how transparent is HR's policy when there is conflicts are being caused between there's interdepartmental conflict. How transparent is the HR policy? Are they able to come in and create bridges between departments? So you can also ask questions, because don't forget, they also need good people. You also need a good job and post and salary. So don't go into an interview like this, sir, नौकरी चाहिए sir, please. मेरा अच्छा college है, अच्छे घर है, अच्छा hairstyle है. You go with that attitude, they're gonna lowball you on the salary. You go in also very suave, एकदम Harvey Specter from Suits बन के जाने का, and say, all right, I said, what is the typical, so if someone says, how much salary do you expect? You say, what is this role usually pegged at salary wise, the role that you're looking to fill me out for? What is the general benchmark, the industry benchmark that you guys follow? Because of course I have my numbers, I'll share them with you, I'm happy to, but I'd first like to understand from you. तो ऐसा उल्टा मारने का, it's about batting, Virat Kohli बन के जाओ. Because even if you screw up that interview, you have to understand one thing. In many organizations, you have to set a tone very early on. The tone is, I've come in as a skilled worker, I've come in as an expert in what I do. मेरे को मोहताजी नहीं है. I'm not here as your bloody slave. I will help. I will give generously of my time and wisdom. But I'm going to leave the moment I sense that I'm being mistreated or ill-treated. But क्या है, Indian middle class mindset होता है, सर जॉब दो, हम इतने खुश हो जाएंगे, पता है दादी जी भी लड्डू खाएगी, हम भी खाएंगे. Don't be that way. Shit, you should see how Australians talk, कुछ नहीं होता इधर. Half of them are drunks, surfing their way through their teens. But ऐसा swag or confidence, matlab, you have to learn this from Australians. So there has to be a little bit of swag, there has to be a little bit of confidence, and you have to read up about that company, know who the GM is, know the main people, and refer to them on a first name. Yes, I'm aware that Mr. George is handling your Pacific division, and Mr. Chan is handling the Pacific chapter. I'm aware, and I've read up about them. I've seen you guys on LinkedIn. You guys do amazing work. So what would be the scope of my being able to interact with them from time to time? Because I have so many ideas which I'd like to contribute. So तुम तैयारी के साथ गए हो, they should know. That's usually the best way to crack an interview. You know about them. You even know the bloody dog breed of your future boss's wife, the one that she has. सबको stalk करो, Insta पे, Facebook पे. They say, yeah, I do. And if you know that they have been to Greece 1 year ago, don't be direct and say, I also like Greece, sir. I saw on your Instagram. So nice, Greece is lovely. Santorini, my father also likes. No, you say, but I've always wanted to go to that region. I'm struggling between Turkey and Greece. I don't know, which do you think is good? I saw slide in karo. So they'll say, oh yes, we went to Greece last year. So sometimes you have to prompt people to say what you want them to say. So this is a skill, this is an art, and I've given so many interviews when I was with the corporate world that I became very good at this. शुरू में मैं भी ऐसे सर बन के जाता था. अमोल पालेकर, I don't know if you know who that is. Like एकदम middle class Indian, I am so lucky to be abroad mindset. Hell with it. You're here because you're good. You're here because they need good people. For their company to look good, for their team to look good. So don't forget that you're good. So the main thing, which is what I said, again going backwards, be good at what you do. No one will bullshit you if you know your stuff, forwards and backwards. Okay? So that's what I have to say to you. Know your stuff when you go in for an interview. Know your people. So yeah, I hope that helps. Be good. Know your shit.
Sure. Definitely. So that's very interesting. You've touched upon the self-respect part. You've touched upon the mutual relationship. Like I would say, the interview thing that you pointed out, it's about mutual relationship. Even in our personal relationships and all, we have our own contribution to make, and we have our standing in it.
Yes.
It's all about respecting our own standing too, right?
Yep.
Yes. Great. So I think we have reached a point of time when Dr. Aman has other commitments. So we will have to let him go. And we have already taken an hour, almost an hour of him, more than what he gave us.
No
So
problem.
I am so happy that Dr. Aman, you came here and we had an amazing discussion. As I said earlier, I would not want this discussion to end.